And she did spook up my couch here a little bit. I feel like we're going to have like a seance.
We're going to do a mini seance for sure. We
Like,
brought Rob.
what are we conjuring? Oh, he's back from Africa and now he's got some needles in.
Absolutely. Don't leave the house without him. Hey, Rob.
We prayed for Rob that we're going to win Anne's this year? What's going on with that?
This is like the only way I'm going to win is if I like threaten him literally. Like, you better make me win. Let me win. Oh my goodness. Or I'm going to kill him.
So now, like 5 years into drag, we're threatening Rob with his life.
Yeah.
But how did we start drag as the Gogo Fetch? Because I feel like I've pretty much known you since you started doing drag. But I never asked, how did we start? What is her origin? What is her superhero origin story?
So Gogo was originally concocted even, let's say, in a... Conjured, I love that.
Spooky.
Insert spooky music. She was conjured in a basement when I was working as a baker
Right.
in a bakery in Calgary. And I just really started wanting to get into makeup. And I was like, I should just do drag. That sounds fun. So me and my friend... she was the manager, and luckily we could talk drag all day, so we just talked drag, and one day I was like, I should just do it. And that was years before I even started. This was like, I'd say 2 years before I did drag.
Oh, really?
And then I lived in Calgary, and then when I moved back, I just kind of gave it up.
Right.
Gave up the thought, I guess. And then, and then 2 years later, I'm like, let's do this. So, yeah, it was a long time coming.
And how did we get to the name Gogo Fetch, if anything?
I actually really don't know.
Oh.
Because when I was a baker, I wanted something like cutesy and fun, like I think cherry pavlova or like cupcake or like something like really bakery related. And I'm glad I didn't. And then my friend came back, my manager, and she was like, Gogo, I know what name to do. And I was like, what is it? And she's like, Gogo Fetch. And I was like, no, that sounds terrible. And she's like, come on, think about it. And I was like, no, it's not even a girl's name. And then I went home and I thought to myself, Gogo Fetch. Gogo Fetch. Nah, not really into it. But the next day I was like, no, that's so totally what I fucking want. Like, I'm so sick of, like, the worst thing would be to be walking down the street. Someone's like, oh, I know you. Aren't you Stacy? Like, no, I'm not.
You don't want a basic white woman name?
No. This way, that way no one else has Gogo, except for one girl in Iceland. She's Gogo Star.
How did you find Gogo Star?
I think it was actually first year of Drag Race, it was during Bianca Del Rio season, when there was that thing where you take a picture and then put your description and then send it to RuPaul or whatever. RuPaul, I don't remember what it was. And then they just post your picture and then where you are, and then like your name and a little stat about it. And I remember going through it, and there was one that was Gogo Star, and then that's where I originally learned actually a lot of the girls from town. So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And that is, how did you get involved with the Homo-Cidal? Because you've been pretty much a Homo-Cidal queen since you started doing drag.
Totally.
How did that sort of become a thing?
Well, in August of whenever I started 5 years ago.
2013.
Oh, God. That was my first performance, and that was a court show at the Upstairs. And Lilith was there.
Peace, that bar. That bar was open for a month.
Literally. So that was my first stage, and Lilith was there that night, the first night I performed. And so we talked a little bit. I met him once before that. So we were Facebook friends. And then it was during the Halloween show at Yellowhead Brewery. And I performed there for a court event. Right. And Chelsea and Lilith came up to me outside and I was like, you're really cool. Want to be in my show? And I'm like, yeah, that sounds really cool.
Right. And what has it been like? Because you've been part of Homo-Cidal for the past 5 years. Since they've been a Homo-Cidal, what is that like? I know it's kind of filled with ups and downs as part of any sort of friend group. Talk about that a little bit.
It's terrible. Don't join. How many of us are there now? 11, 12, 17? Yeah, totally. Some sort of
Handmaid's Tale underground thing.
Absolutely, yeah. It's a cult, really, at this point. Hail Satin. And I don't know, it's been great. The good thing about being with a whole bunch of people that are kind of on the same wavelength as you creatively is you really can bounce ideas off them and they can give you really good stuff back.
Right.
And good constructive criticism, too. And terrible constructive criticism as well. But it's good to have a group of people that like are at least on the same page as you, but can still edit your notes. Like, oh, I don't like that. That's kind of lame. Or even just like, I don't know, like Chelsea's crazy. Chelsea's literally crazy. And that's the fun part about Chelsea Horrendous. And then, like, it's just cool to be around her sometimes. Like, her creative process is so different than mine. I see with, like, Lilith and, like, JBR when he was part of it. And Lourdes is so not the way I create. But it's so cool to see how they, like, create and put things together. Because some of their routines, like that Pokemon Go routine, still, like, haunts my dreams. But it was so good. And it was so different. And I'm almost, like, jealous that they created such like a cool out of this world routine. So it's been cool. It's been a really cool 5 years.
Right. And now talk about Marina and the Diamonds, because that's the only thing that you do.
Marina.
Like, when does she put out new music for you? Like, do you blast when she puts out new things? Do you have something new material to do?
I'm hoping soon. But yeah, Marina is like, I don't know. It's so weird. First time I heard her even, I'm trying to even think, but it was during my drag career. I heard How to Be a Heartbreaker. No, not even. It was...
I think that's the first performance I've seen you do. You're dressed as like a teacher at Evolution at like the short-lived Strip Thursdays. I think that was the first performance I've seen you do.
Seriously? Oh yeah, that was first year drag kind of shit. Yeah, totally. Oh my goodness. But yeah, I think it was Prima Donna Girl or How to Be a Heartbreaker, and I remember just falling in love with the song. It's fun, it was campy, it's funky, and I remember just, like, living for that song, and then after, like, getting her album, because I actually didn't have a computer at the time to burn a CD to have that song on it, so I ran to the store and bought her CD, and from there it's just been, like, literally just, like, listening over it. I was like, I love this song, I connect with that song, it's got a lot of depth to it. Okay. Marina, if you're listening, which you aren't, but if you are... fucking love you.
You never know.
You never know.
What is your relationship with makeup? That sounds like the gay. I was writing this down. I was like, this is the gayest question I've ever asked on Tea Time with Sherman. But what is your relationship with makeup? Because you've worked at MAC previously. You work at NYX Cosmetics
Professional
now.
makeup.
You're always like sort of like have like this boy drag thing going on. Like, I feel like you're one of those people who are, maybe I'm wrong, but I feel like I get the sense you're one of those people who like really likes create through makeup and really likes has like a passion for it. Just talk about that a little, or maybe I'm wrong and you just like selling it. I don't know.
I hate makeup. It's the worst. Like, I never even wear it. Like, look at this. This is natural. Woman. I use a lot of color corrector.
My lighting shit, so like you might look like you just have like got beaten up or something.
Yeah, you know, I use a lot of color corrector and concealer. But no, I was working at Blue Notes before MAC, and it was like dreadful. It's like, the company, whatever, but it's just like, you're literally just folding clothes day in and day out. So by the time I was pretty much done there, I was like, I need a new change. And I was like, just getting into drag, so I was into makeup, and then I was like, oh, well, maybe I should pursue this. So I got a job at MAC, super fun, learned lots, like just like crazy amounts. So my relationship with makeup from there turned into doing more like boy looks in that sense, but really just polishing certain techniques like wing liner and blending and foundation and just like trying to get all those basics down. And I definitely pushed the limits a little bit more when I worked at MAC. And then after like living through drag and, you know, like doing men's makeup a lot, my relationship with makeup right now is I don't wear it if I'm not at work or doing drag, but I will sometimes wear it out because it's just, I don't know, it can be creative and it can be fun. And I don't know, like, pretty cool.
And have you found that you're a better drag queen from working at the makeup counters?
Oh, yeah. Like, absolutely. Like, I'm not, like, I started off okay. Like, kind of, not polished at all. Like, I look back at some of my pictures, I'm like, mess. Like, really bad. But, yeah, learning, like, just my bone structure, my basic face shape, how to get rid of certain looks and textures, and how to pull my eye out instead of just doing, like, black smoky. Yeah, it's definitely helped me a lot, appearance-wise. And I guess in a way, there's also helped me as a performer, like talker, I guess, in a way, because you talk about it. You get more confident talking to someone about something that you actually know about. So, like, it's definitely helped me have a better vocabulary.
Right.
And, like, really be able to talk to people about something that is really quite exciting to a lot of people. I mean, makeup's huge.
Right, and I think that even, like, I've noticed, like, from the time that I've known you for about 5 years now, and you've become way better, like, at talking to people and way better, like, on the mic, and so that's something I've definitely, like, seen in your Gogo growth.
Oh, thank you.
This is something I like asked, like, Ivy when she was here, and I feel like it's, like, a weird, but, like, what is your favorite thing, because you performed at all different venues all throughout the city and through Calgary, what's your favorite sort of part, what's your, like, ideal venue, and what would you sort of, like, what do you like most from different venues, I guess, is what I'm saying.
Okay, no, that's a good question. Absolutely. Because, I've been to a lot of different places. My favorite thing is if you can interact with the crowd and get into the crowd. Mm-hmm. That's, like, a must-have. Because it's not even about doing a routine and making them eat it. It's more about even creating that meal, if you will, with the audience. Like, that's the fun part, where you get to, like, I don't know, like, some of my favorite moments doing drag and performing have been those, like, little tiny things that like just happen, like not cameos, oh my goodness, but like yes,
cameo from Robert Ratsky.
Absolutely, right there.
Hi.
Isn't cute and scary at the same time, and just like really like interacting with people and like stealing their drinks or like falling off a table. Like those are moments that you're gonna remember. Like you may not remember the song or what I wore, but you definitely knew that I hit that fucking floor. I mean, like, God, that was a mess, but.
That was actually going to be my next question. Like, what is the more embarrassing mishap? Falling on the floor from a table at Drag Brunch at Yellowhead Brewery, or losing your wig, whatever.
All the time. So year 1, 2, and 3. I kind of got half year 4. But I would probably say neither I'm embarrassed about. At the moment, I was so embarrassed. And when I saw that video, I was like, that looks really painful, but immediately I was like, I gotta post this. Like, this is the money shot.
But it is something hilarious about, like, when it was, like, it's very, America's Funniest Videos, like, I think when things happen to queens, like, remember Mel Trix when she, like, did a death drop and got a concussion? Like, she gets thousands of views on YouTube, but not saying get a concussion so you get, a bunch of views on YouTube, but, like, it's always interesting, like, when those things happen and they're more memorable than doing an Ariana Grande number that everyone's heard 100 times.
Absolutely, yeah.
Now we're into Alberta's Next Drag Superstar season. Let's talk about your prep, because for this year, anyways, let's talk about your prep. How's that going? What's happening?
Oh, God. Well, after watching Kat's Tea Time with Sherman and Ivy's Tea Time with Sherman, I am like dreadfully unprepared. But I've not been thinking about it. In fact, this year I wasn't even going to do it. I was like, no, I'm good. 4 years, been there, done that. And then my little friend, Lourdes the Mary Virgin, sent me a little message. Gogo, are you doing it this year? No, I'm not, Lourdes. He's like, you should. And I was like, nah, I'm pretty good. And then Lourdes was like, no, you should. Because you know what's really punk rock? It's doing it 5 years in a row, losing every single time, but still being fabulous and better than most of the people in the competition. Not actually, but definitely being like, just going out and doing it and just showing that you're not going to back down and just still being relevant. Like, that's a big that's a hard part about being a drag queen in a smaller town, or city, that has so much drag coming in it all the time. Coming in it? Gross. Happening in it all the time. You have to stay relevant and current, and you have to keep bringing out ideas. So I didn't even think I was going to be in this one, and then Lourdes said, you should do it. And then I decided, sure, let's do 1 more year for sure. This is it. And then everything's just been kind of happening as I let it. The first performance, I just kind of put my feelers out. What do I want to do? And the next thing you know, something comes to me, and then there you go. It just kind of created a whole...
So you didn't plan your numbers a year in advance like the other girls I thought of?
Even during my second number, what was it? Kat and Ivy and JBR, for the second round, Rob's like, hey, so this is the cutoff date. And Kat said sent, Ivy said sent, JBR 2 hours later said sent. I was like, I haven't even thought of a number, let alone like made a number. And it was 7 minutes before the cutoff time. And I was like, listening to it still, like, That's pretty good. I'm into that. That's the cool thing about drag, though, is this constant evolution and creativity about, like, just building and, you know, that's not good enough, and ripping it apart and then putting it back together and be like, that's still not good enough, and then ripping it apart, and then it's like, oh, I kind of like that. What can I make into it?
Yeah, there's one I did, or like a year and a bit ago, whatever that was, when the Women's March happened, like the first one, I was going to do like a number about, I don't know, women's rights or whatever, and then the Women's March happened, and there was this great speech online about, like, the validity of it, and there was, like, this whole spoken word thing that was awful to memorize, but, like, had, like, a really great impact, and I got, like, a bunch of great feedback from the audience, and, like, very, like, loud, like, woos! So, like, if I wouldn't have added that in, I think mine would have been, like, half of what it was, quality-wise, and so, speaking of, like, making numbers, are you always someone who, like, does things on the fly when it comes to making numbers, or do you find yourself getting prepared quite far in advance?
The magic happens 10 minutes before you're supposed to send the song to Rob.
Right.
Really, like, I am very last minute, but it's because it's literally, as I said, like, always evolving and creating, and, like, my semifinals number was not that, like, 2 days before. Like, that's for sure. It was not any of... Well, it had a witch in it, but it was not that at all, and so it really was just like, there's not too much time to plan anyways for myself. I just kind of, when creativity hits, go with it. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, well, just do a Marina and the Diamond song.
What keeps you coming back to Drag Superstar? Because you've done it, like we've talked about now, like this is your 5th year in a row competing. What keeps you coming back? Like, some people just like competing, or you not one of those people?
Well, I do love competing, for sure. Like, that's in my blood. I have a younger brother and an older brother, and so being the middle child, you're always trying to compete for that attention anyways.
Right.
So it was really just like, oh yeah, I love to compete, and every year's been a little bit different. This year, I think it's just... I don't know, trying to not even prove anything to anyone, but more to myself that, you know, like, let's go in, let's do it, let's have fun this year. Let's not stress out this year, and let's not spend a ridiculous amount of money this year. And so far, I've been doing pretty good.
Good. Have other years you've been spending way too much money and stressing out way too much?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. First year, I jumped the gun on the evening gown thing because I only made it to the semifinals and then was cut. And I think I spent like $400 on a gown. And I was like, what am I doing? Like, and like, every year, really. Like, that piñata dress was not made overnight.
Right.
Like, that was a lot of hours, lots of, like, hot glue burns, lots of really fun times, and really, being made out of paper, you'd expect it to be cheap, but it ended up still being pretty pricey.
Right.
You know? So, yeah, so I'm just focusing on trying to be less anxious and more excited, and it's been doing good, so.
That's great. Why should you win Alberta's next Drag Superstar 2018?
I should win Alberta's next Drag Superstar 2018 because I don't know. I don't know. I'm like pretty or something. I don't know.
You should be like I've worked hard. I've been doing drag for so long. It's about goddamn time. Like, I feel like I need to, like, be your scriptwriter.
Oh my goodness, maybe you should. No, I don't know. I don't think I should win, but I think I definitely have a great chance to win. I don't think there's a reason why I should win overall, because it's different every year.
Right.
And if I show up with a shitty-ass routine, I shouldn't win.
Right.
That's all it comes down to. So I think I should go out there and do the best that I can. If I am the best of the best, I should win. And if not, whatever. I'm okay with that. As long as it's not Ivy. She's the worst. No, I'm joking. Ivy's actually super sweet and wonderful.
How about let's read some bitches?
Oh no, I already read. I jumped the gun.
You really did. You
I
got the
did.
boom gun. What am I? G-gun? Gross.
Absolutely.
Miss Ivy League I wanted to talk about.
Okay.
And this isn't, like we said, this is my disclaimer I'm going to say every episode, because before people try to be mean all the time, but I don't want that.
Oh, okay.
I want niceness, friendship, stories about them, and what you think about them. Go, Ivy League.
Well, Ivy's really cool, because I don't know Ivy very well, but we've talked, like, once in a while. Her drag's very different, which I like, that she has, like, this, like, education spin on everything. So I think she's really fun. Her looks have been pretty cool, too.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know him very well, but I mean, I've enjoyed, like, that last routine was super fun.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. Like, her boots, I just kept staring at. All that. So I'd say, like, I'm really excited to compete against her. She's cool.
Mm-hmm.
Super nice guy. That's all I really know about her.
Kat Merlot Menorah.
Oh, God, our baby sister. The triplets that just came out not too long ago. Kat's super...
There's triplets coming out?
Yeah, that was... Oh, we had triplets. Homo-Cidal. We Eaten Out, Kat Merlot Menorah,
oh, okay,
and
yes, that's what you're referring to.
Fiancé Fair.
The new children of Homo-Cidal.
Absolutely. They all just popped out at the same time. It was great. So
it was like a Christmas present. It was like Jesus, but there was 3.
Oh my God, it was at Christmas. I didn't even realize that. It's a Christmas miracle. Kat's very, like... She's like, I don't know how to even put it. She's just, I want to say different, but didn't I just use that for Ivy? I don't know. She's different because she tells you a story every single time.
Yeah.
And she tells you how she wants to tell you.
Right.
And you better accept it. And I love that. Like, she usually comes out, I'm Kat. Here's a cute little song.
Right.
This is why I did this song. I love it. Sweet. It's just, and her booty shaking's by far one of my favorite. That upside down twerk was amazing.
Yeah, I was like, I feel like I would like go have like the blood to your brain. I feel like it won't be good. Maybe like a concussion, it won't be good.
Mm-hmm.
I worry.
Like, Kat's just a really interesting, like, again, Ivy, I think the reason why this year's finale is going to be, like, super cool is because they all come from different areas. Like, Ivy is very, like, as I said, education. Kat has a dance background, but she's more comedic. I don't know what I'm doing most of the time. I just hope it works out. And then Pheromone is super fashion and high energy, so it's like all these different categories. So I guess I'm just everything in between. No, maybe not. Whatever.
I think it is kind of fun about this year. So there's no like, who knows? It could be a cowgirl that could pull it out and win.
True.
But I don't know any of them, so I don't know. And I feel like there's like 100 of them in their prelims, so I was like, I can't watch this.
Okay.
But there's so many of them, so like I don't know any of them. But I feel like this year is fun because of those 4 people from Edmonton, I feel like there's no like clear front winner because there is some other years that I've been in the past and Alberta's Next Drag Superstar. I don't know why I want to do my Trixie Mattel's RuPaul every time I say Alberta's Next Drag Superstar, but I want to.
Because you want to.
Yes.
Absolutely.
In the previous years, Alberta's Next Drag Superstar, I feel like there's been like a clear front runner,
to a point.
I don't think that there really is this year. I think it could be like anyone's game.
Totally.
Another thing I do love about Drag Superstar is like the audience might like something different than the judges, and then some people bring like 100 people, and
True.
so that changes things sometimes. So who knows what Derek Barry and all of her husbands would like.
The harem that's coming.
I know. Also, let's talk about Lilith Fair.
Lilith. What you want to talk about Lilith about?
I don't know. She's your sister. We're going to talk about her.
Lilith's smart. She's very smart. The way she puts together things is like super intelligent. The way she thinks of things and the way she thinks of like production value is very different than anyone else in Homo-Cidal.
Right.
She knows how to put on a show. She knows how to do her dance, and she knows how to perform her ass off. So, I guess it's not really reading. It's just
I'd rather prefer that. I'd rather like someone just like tell me something that they know or something they get from someone else, other than like just being like, she is a stupid, ugly bitch. I was like, okay, that's not really interesting at all. So, and I know you've been in a few little like production shows. What are those sort of like? And because I feel like it's more of like an acting thing that you don't really do in your outside sort of thing. Like, what's that like?
It was super fun. Like, I enjoyed myself for Little Miss Princess, that's for sure.
Right.
She's a boss, and she knows how to get things done, and it's very interesting to see how she kind of creates everything. But she gives great notes, absolutely. I thought she was going to be a little bit more cut dry, but no, she's like, hey, this is what you could do better.
Right.
Do it. And it's like, okay, that's great, awesome.
Perfect.
It's not just like, Gogo, that was terrible, make it sound better. It's like, no, this is how you can do better. You're going to do that, do a turn, there you go, you're good to go.
Nailed it.
Throw some glitter on it.
And finally, let's talk about JVR.
Jupiter. I don't know why that's what I call him. JVR is amazing.
Perfect.
That's all I need to say.
She's amazing.
Yeah, JVR is awesome. Actually, for my finale number, JVR is going to be part of it.
Right.
As of, I think it was 3 hours ago.
Oh,
because my backup dancer, my dancer canceled on me last Saturday. Not this Saturday that just passed, but last Saturday. And then my backup dancer canceled on me last week. And so I'm like, oh great. So I finally have like something that I'm doing. I've now had cancel. Who do I have left? Who's the cutest boy that I have in my life that I could put on stage and he won't just like, ooh, JBR. So I'm going to be having JBR as part of my finale number.
Have we rehearsed this at all with JBR?
No, I literally just like sent him a message saying like, hey, are you working on Friday? He's like, no. I'm like, okay, well, can you just like be part of my routine? And he's like, yeah, sure. Anything for you.
Oh my goodness. All right, we'll see how this works out on Friday, May 4th. To Alberta's Next Drag Superstar. Let's move into, what is one of your favorite performances that you've done?
Reina the Diamonds. No,
Which time?
Oh god, like so many. Favorite routines. There's so many.
Gosh, dragging your heels.
Absolutely. Thanks, Stephen and Bambi. I think ones that stand out for me, Feed Me Diamonds was really fun with the glow paint.
Right.
Just really beautiful. The good thing about Drag Superstar is it really pushes you into the direction of, like, what are my strengths? Mm-hmm. And you really have to sit down and you have to, like, write down what you think your strengths are, and then maybe ask someone, and then be like, no, that's not it. That's not it. But you're totally right. You are good at putting on makeup. And it's just, you really have to think what your strengths are. And I've learned my strengths is telling a story.
Right.
I can tell you a story from start to finish and give you whatever emotion I want you to give you. Mm-hmm. And Feed Me Diamonds was great because it was a little bit more... Not spooky even. It was just like telling a story about this woman who's kind of crazy.
Right.
That's my MO. Most of these women are kind of crazy. And then like Lies that I just did not too long ago. Mm-hmm. That one, that was a lot of emotion going on. But again, it was like it was telling you a story, and I just love those kind of. Well, even the last two numbers I did. Like mm-hmm. Again, it's just they're all fun. But I'd say Feed Me Diamonds was a really great one. Lies was a really great one. And Any How to Be Heartbreaker. Honestly, I have so much fun doing that song all the time.
Why is it like a song that are so easy to fall back into doing all the time? Because I feel like I've seen you do it literally like 100 times.
Absolutely.
It's just like, what do I want to do? Nothing's really popping up. Let's do something that I like love doing, or just like you get so much energy from it, or...
How to Be Heartbreaker is such a little quirky song, because it's like... It's kind of repetitive, but it's not too repetitive. Mm-hmm. It tells a story within itself about, like, oh, well, rule number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4. It's going through this, like, girl and how she, like, I'm cold, but I'm like, oh, boys, come over here. But with that, you can almost, like, play different directions. So, like, the drag brunch, mm-hmm. I didn't do it during your seating, but I did it during the second seating.
Right.
And I just had, like, quirky, fun, cute, I was adorable. And people were eating it up. Yes. I made so much tips. Right. Like, it's just about, like, I don't know. The reason why I do that song so much is just it's fun. It's fun. It's energetic. Mm-hmm. It's classic go-go. And it's just, like, exactly what I want it to be. You can have fun with it. You can make it a little bit more serious. Not really. But
right.
Like, I've done it as a teacher. I've done it as an Afro queen. I've done it as... Like, God, I was wearing zebra print and yellow hair. Like, you could literally do anything with it. Mm-hmm. So...
I was going to sort of ask with this, but I didn't know how to. You're the Lies number that you did for Stilettos. I sort of assumed that was like inspired from your breakup that you had recently. From that, were you kind of pushed more into doing more drag, or you kind of like, did that affect your drag at all?
Lies was during, what was it? It was that Rumble, like where you battle it out.
Review Royale.
There you go.
Is that?
And at first, after the breakup, I actually did a lot of drag really quickly, but I didn't want to. It was all just like prior commitments, the AIDS walk. There's 3 other shows. I can't remember what they were though, but it was just like drag. Mm-hmm. And then after Lies, did I do much drag? I want to say I probably did. It's this weird like, I don't want to do it, but then someone asks you to do a show, and you're like, actually, I would love to, and I want to perform something that's a little bit more meaningful to the heart. So. Yeah, I don't know. I would say it didn't and did at the same time. That doesn't really make sense, but...
It's really like a complex thing, so you're like, I want to do more, but then you're like, do I not? I don't know. What does being Gogo mean to Andrew?
That's a heavy question.
She brings the big news. She brings the big, hard, truth-seeking questions on Tea Time with Sherman.
Yeah, really. Gogo. if I could tell 2-year-old Gogo what I'm feeling now. No, it's Gogo to Andrew means, like, I've learned a lot about myself through Gogo, and especially since I had a breakup recently. You probably all heard about it. And she's helped me kind of direct my feelings towards everything. Like, lies was a really big number because it was, like, super too much. Like, it was a lot. I literally went in the back and, like, I think I cried for, like, 10 minutes straight. Like, it was a lot of shit coming up. No, absolutely. God, I felt like Pheromone during the entire season of RuPaul's Drag Race.
If there's anything I've learned from Electrocute and Charity Case, who's now in like a drag coma, crying in drag is awful.
Oh yeah, it's a mess. Like, my lower lashes were, like, one of them was off, one of them was, like, half off, the top one was going off, I had glitter all the way down my face, and I was like, I'm not a pretty crier, and Gogo is definitely not a pretty crier, but yeah, Gogo has helped me figure out a lot more about myself than I actually expected, and she's kind of something that when you're having a bad day, if you want to focus on something, you focus on something creative and, like, something that's going to actually get you somewhere. Because, I mean, after all that happened, I wanted to, like, go back and just, like, not see anyone, not do anything, and then drag forced me to because of all these prior commitments, and it was good for me, absolutely.
Mm-hmm. If you were to give someone advice to start doing drag, what would you say to them?
There's so much drag now. It's more just finding what makes you special. What makes you special, and then bring that forward, because we've seen so many drag. So many drag shows, so many drag performances, so many drag queens, look queens, whatever, and there's a lot of replication, which is fine, because I mean, as long as you're doing it in your own style, whatever, but it's really just figuring out what makes you happy, what makes you different, and then just pushing forward.
That's something I do love about the Homo-Cidal queens, is because you guys are all very, like, talented, all very kind of, like, spooky, but all, like, there's a lot of, like, people
Am I spooky?
What is this?
I guess so. My last performance that I
did. You guys are all very so different, and so it's like you're all very similar, but you're all very different at the same time. And so something like I think is really cool about that, like, House of Homo-Cidal, is that yeah, you're also different, but you're all very, like, similar, but not.
Oh no, totally. We all, as I said, like, have an underlying, like, love of drag, and kind of all have not even similar styles, but, like, things that we like seem to be pretty similar in general. Like, and we're very different. Like, Secretia, when I think of Secretia, she's in all white or all black. When I think of myself, I probably have every color on, plus. Yeah. You know?
So is she wearing a rainbow? If not, where does it make it
happen? Absolutely. And if it's not, it's going to be yellow hair, this hair, and whatever. And then, like, Chelsea's spooky, kooky, and a little
will probably offend someone.
Absolutely. So, exactly. Like,
or just will make you think, but then go like, what is she talking about?
So, I forgot what the question was.
Your advice to future queens.
Oh, yeah. So just figure out what makes you different. Because as you said, we're all really different. I mean, even, like, I could put us all into color categories. Like, Lilith is red, Chelsea is green, I'm yellow. We go to Jesse, he does a lot of blonde. I'm not sure if that's a color, but that's good.
So plug some of your next shows that are coming up, because that's all the questions I have for you.
Well, on May 4th, Alberta's next drag superstar, I will be competing for the crown for the 5th time. And hopefully make it to the final 2, where I will then lip sync for my life. Against someone. I don't even know who. I can't think of who is going to be in there even, let alone myself. And then, May 13th we have Drag Queen Brunch at the Yellowhead Brewery. Get your tickets now. Because I don't think there's any. Well, there might be some left. I don't know. I don't actually.
Might be gone by the time this goes up, so who knows?
Absolutely. And then on May 13th, again, it's going to be a long day because we're doing Homo-Cidal takes over the Buckingham again.
Gee, that's going to be a long day for you. You have 2 seatings of brunch, then you have the Bucking show later.
I got up at 5 last time for brunch, so it's going to be a real long day.
Oh, God.
And then I'm a part of the Minority Report with Secretia Minora. I don't remember the day, but it's a Sunday coming up this month.
I think it's the 27th.
Thank you, probably.
Yes.
Okay, and I think that's it for me right now. I think that was probably something with pride for the next month. Don't know where I'll be. And yeah, I think that's it.
Amazing. Thank you for joining us on Tea Time with Sherman with Gogo Fetch. Good luck to you on Alberta Tech Strike Superstar next Friday. Bye!
Bye!